All right, we're recording now.
All right.
Yeah, apparently you have to sign in before
Huh.
that record to the cloud becomes an option. So you have
Oh,
to
wow.
tab over to got it. Now, having said
Yeah.
that, pause recording. I don't want to pause recording. I'm going to mute myself and go away. I'll be back at 9-ish.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. All right. Hello, everyone. July monthly class. Want to wish everyone a warm, happy summer, and I think we're ready to get started. Unless anybody has anything to say up front. Barbara, are you doing okay? Okay, I guess she's okay. All right, so the first items I have are just news, and right now your phone should be on iOS 16.5.1
Know that.
C as in Charlie, and that should be
Can you
the
hear okay, Maggie?
current version.
Can you hear okay?
Yeah, I can't get on.
Okay, we hear you just fine.
All right,
Alright.
welcome, Maggie. Okay, so like I just said right now, 16.5.1 C as in Charlie, that should be the version that's on your phone. It's safe, it's good. You can put it on there if you don't have it. And that's it for that piece. The next piece I have is concerning Best Buy. They're going to get into the game that Amazon's getting into. They're going to provide free shipping for $49 a year. So they're looking to take a bite out of Amazon's game, with the exception that they have a lot of brick and mortar stores available as well. So that's going to be curious, very curious to see how that works out. Of course, Best Buy has a much more limited stock than Amazon, but you can still get a lot of stuff there and appliances and whatnot.
What company? I didn't hear you.
Best
What
Buy.
company?
Yeah, Best Buy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're starting this $49 a year free shipping deal. A lot like Amazon, you go online, you order, and then they give you free shipping if you're part of that program. So I guess they're looking to compete with Amazon.
Sure.
So I think there are going to be more businesses doing that kind of stuff. You know, Amazon set up a great model, and either you go with it or you end up, you know, going down with the ship one of these days. So I think you're going to see a lot more businesses doing that. We are turning into that kind of society where we don't really go into stores as much as we used to. So anyway, any comments on that? Anybody hear anything else about any other stores doing that kind of stuff? Well, all right, I want to go to the next thing. Oh, there's a new social media app out there. Like we need another one. So Mark Zuckerberg, who is the Facebook guy, he's trying to get into to where the Twitter space, and he's got a new social media app called Threads, and it's almost a carbon copy of Twitter, which is causing a stir with Elon Musk, who is the owner of Twitter right now. So there's been a lot of back and forth between those two, and looks like the first day that the Threads became available, Threads app is what it's called. There were, you know, a lot of millions of people, 30 million, I think, went on there, you know, but it's still got a long ways to go. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see. But I don't think it's going to erode Twitter's market share too much. I don't know for sure. That's just remains to be seen. So that's the thing. It's called Threads, like a needle and thread. So the other thing in news is that the iMac computer, I don't know if you remember these computers from around 2000, 1998. They had real colorful cases, and they looked like eggs, like egg-shaped.
Right.
And they had like blue and orange and translucent cases you can see inside. Well, those were the iMacs, and 25 years ago was when they released the first ones. And it also marked when Steve Jobs came back and saved the company from almost certain bankruptcy during the late 90s. So, of course, Apple is now a $3 trillion mega giant company. So what he did worked. So yeah, that's 25 years ago. And let's see what else we got here. Oh, and at an auction this month, an original iPhone, the very first one that they released in 2007, not the first one, but one of the first ones. It was auctioned off for, you're not going to believe this, $190,000.
Ooh.
So save your iPhones. Maybe they can be worth something.
Mhm.
You think they're expensive now? Wait till you put them on auction later. Okay. So that was interesting. I thought I'd throw that in there. That one retained its value. So here we go. So that's all I got for news. Anybody got any comments or questions on any news items that I just discussed? All right. So the next segment and my little outline here is called the Emerging Technologies. And I did a little research for this class. And the iOS 17 version that's coming out later this year has some really cool new accessibility features. And I'm gonna talk to you about 4 of them today, just real quick, because I don't have iOS 17. So I haven't been able to try them out, or I'm just gonna repeat what I read in summary here on the 4 items. So the first item is called assistive access. And I don't know if you remember the phones, like the Jitterbug phones, where you had the big icons on the screen. You have like a big phone icon, big text icon, big camera icon. Well, they're bringing that to the iPhone. It's inspired by that. So when you turn this on, instead of having a zillion icons on your screen, you'll have big fat ones on your screen that are easier to see and are maybe even a little simpler to use. They're working out everything before they release this. But that's what that's called. It's called assistive access, and it's supposed to make your phone easier to see and easier to use. So I think that'll work for a few of us out there who don't want it so complicated. So yeah, it's called assistive access. So number 2 is called live speech, and the way that works is if you have a problem, let's say you got a sore throat or strep or something, and you're losing your voice, they're going to be able to give you a window on your phone where you can type in something, and then it'll speak it for you either on a phone call or out loud. So it kind of helps you speak using type instead of having to wait for your voice to get better. So that's one thing that they put in. The third thing that kind of ties into this live speech, it's called personal voice. And this is very interesting. I was very shocked at this feature when they announced it last month and when I did more reading on it. And what it does, it's made for people who want to use their voice for live speech instead of one of the canned voices in the phone. So let's say a person has something like, I don't know, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and they're going to lose their voice at some point in time. Well, you can store your voice pattern in the phone under the personal voice, and then it only takes about 15 minutes to train it. And then what it'll do is when you need to use live speech, that thing I just talked about, you can select your personal voice and it'll be you talking instead of the Siri voice or whatever voice that's on. It'll be your voice, and it's called personal voice. So that's supposed to be coming out on iOS 17. So it should be interesting to train it with one of our voices and hear it talk back in your own voice. So yeah, it's pretty amazing how they do that, because the way they build like these speech engines for Siri, that's professionally done in studios, and it takes thousands of hours to get that right. And you can actually train your iPhone in 15 minutes to get a good facsimile, a good version of your voice. Not great, but good, and they'll know it's you talking. So I just thought that was amazing that they're bringing that
Huh.
out to us to use. They said, like, you know, with someone with ALS and they lose their voice, they don't get it back. It's one way to preserve their voice in their phone, what they sounded like, you know, before they lost their voice. There's a couple other conditions out there where you can lose your voice, and this kind of helps those people they'll still be able to communicate in their voice if they want to with the phone. So very interesting development there. And the last one is called Point and Speak. So that's coming out on iOS 17. Like I said, this is all emerging. This is not here yet. And what it does is you're going to open up the magnifier, and then you're going to have this icon on the bottom of the magnifier called Point and Speak. So you're going to point it at a sign. And then, you know, this is somebody with low vision probably who can do this. Then you would, in the camera frame, you would point at the thing that you wanted to describe. It'll follow where your finger's pointing, and it'll tell you where your finger's pointing, and it'll actually speak what's there. So that's the other thing that's coming in iOS 17. And the good thing about iOS 17 is that it will install on all iPhones from the 10R and up. So Patty, you're going to be okay. You're not going to be left out on this run. So your phone will be able to do all of this, or some of it at least. So any questions about emerging technologies? Those are the 4 points that I had. So
Hey, Manny,
yeah.
what about the SE for the iOS 17? Will that be available?
Yes, the SE2 or the 2020 and the SE3, the 2022,
Okay.
I think it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
those will get the update. Yes.
okay.
And speaking of the SE, the very next one, which is due out in a year or two, I don't know exactly, they announced it. They're going to lose the button on that one. It's going to be
Yeah, I
more
heard
like the
that.
iPhone 10. Yeah. So the iPhone SE 3 or 2022 is the last phone I think they're going to make with a home button, physical home button. So thank you for that, Dan. Appreciate that. So, all right. Any
Manny?
more questions? Yeah.
No, it's Maggie.
Hey,
I
Maggie.
read something about the next iPhone coming out is going to be larger and heavier again. Why are they doing that?
Don't know. That's a good question. They are going to put like a ½ an inch on the bigger ones, but they're going to be lighter because I think they're going to make those out of titanium, if I'm not mistaken. But they will be bigger.
Stacked batteries.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Well, they said they were going to use stacked batteries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just reading about that, and I don't know enough to really, in a public way, talk about it. I just know that it's newer battery technology, and it's supposed to give you a higher yield as far as you know, your battery life and whatnot there. So I'll make a note of this, and maybe I'll talk about the stacked battery thing for next time. I do appreciate you bringing that up. That's good that you're paying attention to stuff like that. So yeah. All right. If there's no more questions, we'll get to the topics. So the first one on my list tonight is called the Libby app, and it's a library app that interfaces with your public library system. So what you do is you get a library card and a pin from the Pima library here, and then you download this app and you input that information, and then you can go into the app and you can check content out, whether it's a book, an audio book, wherever it is. And unlike Bard, if it's already checked out, it treats it as it's not there. It's not like you can just check out a digital copy. They have one copy, and they only lend it out to one person at a time for each copy that they have. So I went in and I looked for some Ray Bradbury books, and I was able to get one, but the other one, I could be on the list and wait for X number of days for it to become available. or I can just skip to another one. So that's the way Libby works. In fact, I'll bring Libby up so you guys can see that. Let me do that now. There's another app out there for this too, along the same lines. It's called Hoopla. It does the exact same thing, except I can't seem to get it to work on my phone, and I'm still working on that. I don't know what's going on. I reinstalled it, I did everything, and I'm still not able to get through to it. And I think, Barbara, you've had success with Hoopla, right? You've been doing okay.
Yeah,
with
the
that?
Hoopla I found very easy to use.
Yeah, so I need to actually get on the phone with them and talk to their tech support, because I know I'm doing everything right. But and I'm hoping to demo Hoopla in another class, but let me give you at least one of them this class, because I think Libby's pretty good. So let me open that up. So hang on just a second. Okay, I'm going to raise the volume on my phone here. Okay. Hey Siri. Open Libby.
Libby, title status, borrow, button.
Okay. So Libby is a standard app for, like I just explained, and it's got a regular tabbed interface at the bottom. And the tabs are, first tab on the bottom is
Search, tab, navigation, landmark, 1 of 5.
search tab.
Library, tab, 2 of 5. Menu, tab, 3 of 5. Selected, shelf, tab, 4 of 5. Timeline, tab, and navigation,
All right.
5 of 5.
So you heard all those tabs. The main one is search, and of course I think shelf.
Selected,
Yeah.
shelf, tab.
Shelf is just like the Bard bookshelf. It's whatever you got down. So if I go there, let me see what I've got. It's been about a week since I've opened this app. So
Selected, shelf, select URL, shelf.
all right. So on my shelf, if I go through, and I'm not going to read everything on the screen, but the very top of it has this label.
Shelf, heading level 1.
Shelf heading level 1. That's when you know you're in the right place. So I'm going to just skip down through the stuff and get to the content that I have on my shelf. So I have this one.
Manage home, button.
Hold on a second.
Open in Libby, button. Title status, borrow, book, The Canterbury Tales, by Geoffrey Chaucer. Heading
So
level 3.
Geoffrey Chaucer, Canterbury Tales.
Title details in library.
And I have that on my shelf. If I want to play it, I can. And so I have this book for so many days, and nobody else can check out this book. Now they can have multiple copies of this book, but they don't have unlimited copies like Bard. They may have 5 copies. I could check one out and 4 others, and then it would have no more available until one of us, until our time is done, and then it goes back on the shelf.
So they're digital books.
Yes,
Yes.
you can get both. You can get audiobooks, which is what I like, and you can also get text-based books. And I think it has its own little reader on there. I didn't go that far with the text-based, but I think you can open them up and it's just text on the screen. You can do your read. I think there's a read function on it, and then it'll just start reading it to you. So, but it's in one of those bland speech engine voices, not a real person.
Right.
And of course, the audiobooks are nice because it's read by a true reader, and sometimes there's sound effects, all kinds of crazy stuff. So that's
Manny?
basically. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Hi, this is Diane.
Hi.
I've been using the Libby app for a while.
Oh, great.
And I've checked out a few books that I have actually read, and all of that went pretty well. But especially recently, I've been having a lot of trouble with the search function. I'm using my phone actually with the screen curtain on because I can't see it at all. And I was having a lot of trouble. I think it's with focus, trying to get to the section of that search page that I needed when I would enter my search term.
Mhm.
And then I would try to go to results. I would end up in some other thing where it was asking me to choose a bunch of stuff that I didn't need. And sometimes say, okay, so I'm not explaining this too well. So I want to put a search term in the search box. And my general way to do that is I dictate the name of the author or title that I want. And then just like Bard, I go on and to try to get the search results. But what was happening to me was I couldn't get to dictate. in order to put the name in. Dictate was evidently somewhere clear down at the bottom of the screen, and I could not reach it by swiping. When I tried to swipe, I got diverted into some other category. I even had my sighted daughter, who uses Libby, look at this, and she agreed that it was, we tried it together, and it just was very difficult to use. So I'm not sure what's going on. I almost called the library about it because I was having a lot of trouble searching for titles that I wanted. My daughter could do it because she could see where she needed to go, but since I couldn't see it, it just was difficult to use. That's just my experience with it. Now, once I checked the book out and even got it onto hold status, then it went really well. And I have read a few books that way.
Okay, let me ask you one question. When you go to the search tab and you get to the search field and you open it up for
Yes.
editing, you're doing all that, okay? How do you initiate dictation? Are you looking for the button on the keyboard or are you doing a gesture? Which one are you doing?
Well, normally, I mean, so normally, say when I dictate into other types of like Bard or even searching for a contact or something, I know by now that well, sometimes it says dictate is a swiping choice, but frequently it doesn't. I know that if I go down to toward the bottom of the keyboard, the virtual keyboard, dictate is kind of usually in the very last row, the same row where the space bar is, and I can get to it that way. But on the Libby, I just was having a lot of difficulty. I could not get to that virtual keyboard. And if I tried to swipe, as like I said, I got diverted off into some other list. I can't even recall what it was of choices. And once those popped up, the keyboard disappeared. So I was just really struggling with the search function of Libby. It was getting to the point where I was not sure I was going to use it anymore.
Well, let me give you a bit of advice that you may want to try when you get a chance. So when you get to Libby, you click on the search tab, get up to the search field, right? And then you're going to take a single finger and double tap on it. And it's going to open it up for editing. So right there, stop and use your two fingers and double tap the screen. That will begin dictation. That's a gesture that's dedicated to dictation. So you do that
regardless of where I tap. Is that right?
Regardless, yeah. Just make sure you're in the search field. You have it open for editing.
Right.
Specify something. Two fingers twice. You'll hear a tone. Dictate what you want. Then do it again to end dictation, and it'll insert.
Yeah, I do that with I've done that with other apps, and it worked. But this app just seems a little buggy to me. That's just my observation.
Maybe I should try it here. So I got the Libby app up, and we'll look for something, and let's see if it works for me, because that's a very good concern that you have. Let me see here.
7:32 p.m.
Sorry, my phone went to the lock screen. Hang on. Okay.
Libby actions.
Okay, this is especially for Diane. We're going to go to search, which is down here at the bottom left.
Search tab, navigation, landmark.
Okay, and tap on that.
Search.
Now we're gonna swipe over to wherever the search thing is. So let's go.
Dynamic island, empty, cellular, 3 of 4. Search the catalog, search field, search, landmark.
Okay.
Double tap to edit.
So it said field, very important. So I'm gonna double tap on that search field, right?
Insertion point at end.
Now I'm gonna dictate something in there, whatever.
Okay.
So let's see. Oh. Ray Bradbury.
Inserted Ray Bradbury.
So what I did, Diane, is after I opened it for editing, I double tap with two fingers. You know, it went bam, bam on the screen.
Right.
I got a
Anywhere.
tone.
Anywhere on the screen. So you didn't have a problem with focus, is what I guess I'm asking.
That's right. You don't need to worry about where you're doing it. And then when you get done, you then go ahead and do it again, so to make it stop listening. Okay. And then after that, you just on the keyboard at the bottom, there should be a search bar, a search function, or a button close. You swipe over to it. That's really easy to do. That wasn't your problem, and then I'll do that.
URL search results.
And then if I go to search results, I'm just going to shortcut over to it.
Book.
Can you
Fahrenheit
swipe over and see if you can, because I was not able to get there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So I
Sorry.
got to the search results and here it is.
book. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Heading
Right.
So I'm sure if you do that, maybe just do a little practicing, wherever you have a text box, and this is for everybody, not just Diane, by the way. That's a very universal way to dictate. In fact, you should never have to look for a microphone, but that should be something in the past, because doing it this way is way easier. And
Okay,
as long as you have the text box open and it's open for editing, you can dictate to your heart's content, and then you'll be fine.
okay. All right, I'll try it that way. Thanks.
All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. So the thing with Libby, like if I wanted this book, let's see what my options are. So I looked up Ray Bradbury, and you do have a limit of how many books you can have out concurrently. I don't remember what the limit is. It's some limit. It'll tell you. It won't let you do it. It's got pretty good controls here. So let me see what the option.
Title status. Wait list. Till 14 weeks. Button.
So if I want to get this book, I can get on the wait list and wait 14 weeks for it. Okay.
Oh,
So that's why I'm saying it's not like Bard. If this was on Bard, I could download it, you could download it, and 6 million other people could download it at the same time. So that's the only caveat with the library. It's just like going to get the physical book. You can only get one if it's there. So that's a difference.
This is, I just want to make one more comment and then I'll shut
Sure.
up about this.
No, go
But
ahead. Go ahead.
no, I did this with a book that I wanted and couldn't get anywhere else. And at first it said it was going to be 12 weeks or something. But I think what happened was people read it and returned it. They didn't keep it their whole period of time. So actually I got it much faster.
Oh,
I mean,
that's good.
I did wait
Good.
maybe 6 weeks, but it wasn't 12 weeks. I did get it and then notified me and said it was available.
Oh, thank you for that, Don, because
Yeah.
I haven't gone on a wait list yet, so I don't know how that works. Thank you for
Yeah.
letting us know. So yes, thank you. So, and that's basically the long and the short of it. The other tab you can explore kind of on your own. There'd just be a lot of fluff for tonight. You have the very first tab, the search tab, and then you have your library tab, and the rest are important, but not as much. So
And the other thing I would say is I always have to remember, because I also have to specify what kind of book I want, whether it's whether it's an audio book or a physical book or whatever, because those are all separate lists with separate wait times and all that kind of thing.
That's right. That's right. And I think there's an advanced search option, if I'm not mistaken, if I was playing with this. You
Mhm.
can actually specify the genre, or you can specify the type of book, whether it's audio, whether it's a regular digital
Yeah.
printed kind of thing, or or even one that can go on your Kindle. I think even a Kindle.
I
book.
think so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's a very good service, Libby, and I'm sure Hoopla is the same way. But this is a really good thing to get if you like audiobooks or any kind of books, actually, because your phone could read the textbooks, but it doesn't sound too good. It sounds like a
No.
robot. So okay, any more questions or comments on Libby? Anything, Diane, you got?
Nope, thanks.
All right. Well, very cool. We're going to go on to the next thing. Uh-oh, and this is one of my favorite parts of tonight's program. Show and tell.
Mhm.
And what I got this time, you're going to love it. So during monsoon season here in Tucson, we always have like these huge lightning storms that knock out power. So what I went to Amazon and I picked up this little number. I'm gonna put it up in front of the camera, or in front of the camera, so you guys can see it. And what it is, it's an emergency weather radio with a power bank inside of it. And you're probably saying, hey, what does that power bank do? Well, this gives you emergency power to your phone as well. So it acts as a weather radio. And it's got and you can have some batteries in here. I'll explain those later. And then you have a big power bank battery for your charging your devices, standard devices that we all have, like iPhones and iPads and whatnot. Before I get to all that stuff, it comes with a strap and a belt looper thing. I don't know what they call these things. Anyway, you can put it on your belt loop and it'll hold it there. Also comes with a charging cable, so you can charge the weather radio itself from the wall to fill up the power bank. And then of course you can reverse the cable and then charge your device from the power bank. So it's kind of neat. It's all self-contained. I think it's about 4 or 5 inches across, 2 inches down, and about 2 inches deep. It's got a little solar cell on top, so you can triple charge. And then it's got, if you run out of that, it's got a little hand crank thing like the old radios from the old days. You can crank it like that, and you can get a charge. So if you really run out of power, you have 3 ways to get power, and then you can at least turn the radio on and hear what's going on. And the radio, it's real simple. It's an old analog kind of radio. It's got a little dial going across like the old ones used to do. And it's got 2 little round buttons. One is to turn it on in volume and the other is to tune it. So I'll turn it on. I think it's on weather right now. So let me try that. Oops. Where is it? Oh, I have it upside down. Hang on a second. Try it. Here we go. So. I don't know what that's on. Let me see if I get the weather radio on. Oh, that's weather radio. Sorry. Let's see. All right. Make a liar out of me. Maybe I got to put the antenna out. Hang on a second. Try that. Oh, it's not picking up anything. You know, it always does this when I show you guys.
I know.
So how much is this, Manny?
This is like 20-something dollars, maybe $30, something like that. So,
And then it also has a very bright flashlight.
oh, that's right. Yeah. So let me show you that. So you have weather radio, and then you have a switch to go from AM and FM. So you'll get something. Let me switch just so you know it works, and I'm not like getting embarrassed by this weather radio thing here.
I heard it.
Yeah. So there's a radio there. Anyway, that's the radio. And then there's a light here, pretty bright. You can see that. And then there's also an emergency thing. I hope you don't scare you guys because it's pretty loud. Let me see here. So if you're in trouble, I think you can strobe it. Let's see. Let me try this again. Ah, where is it? Oh, it's up here. Hang on. Let me try it again. Oh. Hang on. Probably should have located that before I started. Let's see. There's an alarm where you can get people to come to you. I'm trying to remember where it's at here. Where are you? Oh, is it here? Oh my gosh. All right, well, it's not working. I don't know what's going on. But it has an alarm on it, and if I could switch it properly, it'll make a loud sound, and that it's like a siren that goes off real loud, and it'll actually
So that they could find you. So that
they can find you, yeah. So that's kind of the way that works.
I
So
like the flashlight was nice and bright.
Yeah, there is a little solar cell on top of it, and that's used to trickle charge 3 AA batteries that go in, and that's what this hand crank is for. You would put batteries in here, and this powers the radio only and the light. So you could do this, this hand crank if you had hardly any power, and you had to do it a lot to build power, but at least you have an option just in case. So
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a pretty good little unit when it works. I mean, I wonder if I can try that again.
It's real tiny.
Yeah. I don't know what I was doing wrong here. Well, anyway, I must be doing something wrong here. No idea. Anyway, but that's how.
There's no weather today.
You know, the weather channel worked, and I don't know why it's not working.
Yeah, and it's real loud too.
Let's see. I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. Anyway, it did work at one time, but it does provide you power and provide you some radio at least, so you can hear what's going on if there's some inclement weather coming or whatever. So, and it should be enough power in this power bank to charge your phone at least once, maybe even 2 times. So you have plenty of power in here. So if you get one of these, you'll want to charge it up and then, just keep it handy, just like you would any flashlight or any other device. Because we had power go out yesterday. Patty and I went to Walmart, and the power went out because of a lightning strike in the vicinity, and completely out of power. So this is something to have just in case. And they also sell, by the way, these power banks that look like this, but have unfolding solar panels. So if you unfold like the 6 panels, it'll actually charge the battery and the power bank from the sun. And then you could power your phone from that in an emergency. So that's an even better one than this for power reasons, but this is a good general thing to have. So you can keep abreast of what's going on if the power goes out. So,
Mhm.
all right, sorry, I didn't get the weather thing or the alarm thing to work. Kind of sad about that. But it did work before, and I almost blew my ears off when I did it. I don't know why. I really wanted to do that. I'm just bummed.
It'll work once you get offline.
It will. It always works like when I'm not in front of you guys. It says it loves to work for that reason. I don't know why. But
Anyway, the price was $26.
it was like 20 or 30 bucks, like no more than 30 for this thing.
Mm.
So, and it's basically just a battery, a big phone battery hooked to a weather radio with a
Mhm.
solar panel and a light, and in it, and the light's got a little focus thing. You can focus the beam in a tight focus or in a wide beam.
Mhm.
So that's kind of my show and half tell kind of thing. So
Or
I'll
tell
put
and or show.
yeah, and I'll put a link to this in the notes in case anybody's interested. The one I got from Amazon, in case anybody wants to get one. So, all right, any questions about the weather radio? All right, we're going to continue on there. We are going to move on down. Okay, speaking of batteries, if you have an iPhone and your battery is going bad, but you don't want to replace the iPhone, you don't want to go spend hundreds of dollars, you can take it to Apple, or you can take it to an authorized service center. It doesn't have to be Apple, and they can swap a battery out for you for a lot less than that. So if you just like your iPhone and you don't need to upgrade, don't want to upgrade and spend all that money, but your battery is always wearing out or not charging properly, you can get those batteries replaced locally. I just wanted to mention that because
You can get it replaced at Battery Plus right there at Speedway in Walmart.
yeah, very good. And I don't know how much they cost. It's not going to be
From $50 to $75, depending on which battery.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Barbara. Yeah. So
That's a
and
deal.
Batteries Plus is a good place. You can get all kinds of batteries there.
Right.
But,
They also fix the cracked screen too.
oh, I didn't know that. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. So there's a lot of places that are certified by Apple to do this, and Batteries Plus is probably the place I'd go to. And $50, that's not bad for a new battery, and it brings new life to your phone, because that's the only part in your phone that wears out is the battery. So you don't have to buy a new iPhone when the battery goes bad, because it will go bad someday. Don't know when, but it will. That's for sure. So, any questions on that? All right. Okay, now the next one that we're talking about is one that Barbara wanted me to mention again, because Barbara made some discoveries about Audio Vault. If you guys remember, that is the app that I demoed, I believe, last month. And what it does, it allows you to get the audio tracks for movies. And back when I demoed it, I really didn't flush out all of the things about it. So the thing that I'm going to talk to you about with Audio Vault today is how you can download it to your phone, just like you would a Bard book or a file that exists on your phone. Because if you go with their default option to view it, it sometimes doesn't work. It sometimes gives you an invalid file and all this stuff. And this is the problem on their end, not on the Apple iPhone or what you're doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up, and then I'm going to show you how to do that. And then I did one before in my test guide for this class, and I already have it downloaded. And I'm going to show you where you find these files on your iPhone. Okay. So let me grab my iPhone. So when
Okay, so this is a website, so you have to put it on your iPhone.
That's right. So
It's not an app.
and I did that for this class. So let me just go to it.
7:50 p.m.
All right, let me get out of Libby here.
65%. Calendar.
Libby,
Tuesday,
Libby, Libby.
IEG, Amazon.
All right, so I'm going to go to,
Page 2 of 4.
hang on a
Page
second here.
Blue Maps. Double tap. Page 3 of 4. Map. Audiovault.net.
So I created a little icon on my screen that's basically a shortcut to the internet site. So if you have to type it in or search for it, it's called Audio Vault, V as in Victor, AULT.net. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go in.
Page loaded. View all the TV shows. Link. View all the movies. Visited.
So I'm going to shortcut. We already went over this before.
Can you slow your speed?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Containers. Headings. Links. Form controls. Edit. Characters. Words. Lines. Speaking rate. 60%. 55%. 50%.
Sorry about that. Okay. So when you go to audiovault.net, after you log in, because you'll have to log in, okay, you're going to get this screen that I'm on now, and you're going to go to either the TV shows or the movies. I'm going to go to the movies, okay?
View all the movies.
View all the
Visited.
movies, okay? I'm going to go there.
View all the movies. Visited. Link.
So what it does is it brings up the list of all the movies, and what you got to do is go into the top part and filter it out. And I do it by keyword. They got other filters there, but I don't ever use them. So the field you're going to look for on this screen is going to be, let me just see if I can get right to it. Hang on.
Pop-up button. Type. Show. Search by date. Search. Search. Ellipsis. Text field.
Search ellipsis text field. That's what it's called. And that's a keyword search. So let's look for something.
Insertion point at end.
So now it brings up the keyboard. And like I told you before, Diane, I'm going to do a 2-finger double tap. And I'm going to dictate something and then another 2-finger double tap to stop. I'm going to do that now. When Harry met Sally. And now it didn't tell me that it inserted it, but I know it did. I just heard the little sounds it made. So now I'm going to hit the search.
Search. View movies. Heading left page settings.
And then
Button.
I'm just going to go down to the
Actions
results. The search stuff is still up there. I'm going to skip through that and just go down to the table that has the results. So I'm going down here.
Type. Show. Search. Search. When Harry. Search. ID. Name. Download. 8,750. Name. When Harry Met Sally. Ellipsis. 1989. Column 2.
So what you do is that's the second. There's like 3 columns. There's a number, a code, then the name, and then there's a download link right after the name. I'm going to swipe to it now.
Download. Download.
So you tap on that.
Web page loaded. Email address. Text
Oh,
field
I gotta,
is edited.
log
Use the
in, I
Romany of gmail.com.
hang on a second.
Face ID authenticated. User authentication. Email address. Tech welcome. Manny Celis. Downloaded. 18,220. Fail. 60.
Okay. Good job.
Separator. Bullet. View all the TV. Bullet. View all the movies. Visited. Web page loaded. 12 round.
Let me get back there again. I guess it let me in, but it asked me for my ID and it ruined what I just tried to do. Hang on a second.
Pop up. Type. Show. Search box. Search. Tech insertion point.
When Harry Met Sally.
Inserted when Harry met Sally.
Here, I said that.
Search. View movies. Heading page settings. But name. Download. Toolbar. Forward. Download. Toolbar. Name. When Harry met Sally. Ellipsis.
Okay.
1989. Row 2.
So what you would do
Column 2.
is you got to the name and you would swipe over to the right. This is the results little table. I'm going to go to the right,
Download. Download.
go
Column
download.
3. Alert. Do you want to download when Harry met Sally?
And what you do is you choose the download option, not the view option. That's what we did last time. So we're going to do download.
Download. Button. Download. View movies. Heading level 2.
Then that's it. You go to your files area and it's going to be there now when Harry Met Sally and then the one I did earlier. So now you just tell the phone to open files. So you say, hey Siri, open files.
Files. Tab bar. Shared.
And the very
When Harry Met Sally MP3 download. File. 7:55 p.m. Down arrow 22%.
it's 22% downloaded. So
Actions available.
when it gets to 100%, then I can open that file and listen to it. So if I have one that I did earlier, let me find that one.
TSB Zoom. Back to the Future US 1985. Audio.
So I did that one earlier.
Back
I'm
to
going to
the
go ahead and open that up.
list.
And you do that by double tapping and then you tap on the play button.
Play. Button. List. Buttons. Star sprinkled sky. Dusty blue rings like spotlight beams focused.
Hey,
Golden word.
Sorry.
Universe. An MCA company. On a black screen, titles appear. Steven Spielberg presents a Robert Zemeckis film.
And then you double tap with 2 fingers to pause it. And I could resume it, the same gesture.
Shiny red orange letters slide into view.
I'll pause it
Completely
again.
curved with a
So anyway, that's how that works. So you always choose the download option and then they'll be in your files area and then behind the files app and they'll be right there and you can play them. You don't need to have a connection to Audio Vault or whatever after that. They'll be on your phone and then you can delete them when you're done. So it's a great way to do it. And you don't get those errors that that Barbara and I were getting with invalid this and that when you do the view option. So in summary, what you do is you go into audiovault.net, you find the movie you want, you choose download, and then the second thing that it asks you, don't choose view, choose download, and then open up files, and it's right there. And you can put as many as you want. Your phone can hold a bunch, by the way. Don't even worry about it. So, and that's my story. I'm
Manny?
sticking to it.
Manny, I got 20 of them in there now.
Yeah.
And then when
So
you're
you're-
done, after you listen to them, you just go 2 fingers up and delete.
Yeah, so I'm going to delete one.
Oh.
I'm going to, since I already have Back to the Future on there, I'm going to delete that one. And When Harry Met Sally should be very close to finishing the download. So I'm going to go done up on top.
done. Button. Icons. Button.
So let's see.
When Harry Met Sally. Audio. 7:58 p.m. Up arrow 85.8 MB.
So it's done.
Actions available.
It already downloaded. So if I just wanted to open that to show you guys that it worked, let's go here.
When Harry Met Sally. When Harry Met
And I hit play.
Play. List. Button.
Metro Goldwyn Mayer.
Appropriate network bandwidth low.
Castle Rock Entertainment.
Anyway, that's how that works. So that's that one. I'm going to go delete The one I did earlier, show you how to delete them.
Button. Back to the Future US 19.
So when you get on that file, you just swipe up with one finger
Drag item. Delete.
and you double tap. That's it.
TSB Zoom class.
It deletes it without any more words or anything else. It just does it. So I have When Harry Met Sally now to listen to at my convenience. And anything you have on there, you can download this way. So it's a very nice little resource. And to
So you got movies on the go.
Below.
yes. So what you do to put this icon on your screen, so you don't have to type in audiovault.net every time. Let me go over to it.
Apps with files. Active. Safari. Active. Safari.
What you do is at the login screen here, you would save it to your home screen, the icon. And when you do that is you do a share.
Network.
Toolbar.
The toolbar at the bottom of the screen has a few options, back and forward, share, bookmarks, and tabs. You're going to use the share option.
Share. Button. Share.
And then you're going to choose
Add to home screen. Button.
add to home screen. And when you do that, you'll get a chance to title it. It'll give it a default title.
Add to home screen. Text field. Is editing. Insertion point at start.
And I guess this one
Swipe
didn't,
up or down to select.
this one didn't have a title because the page is very simple, I guess. And I could just type in whatever I want, Audio Vault or whatever I want to do there. And then I would hit done when I'm done, and that's it. Or I hit cancel. Since I already got one, I don't want to create a second one. So I'm gonna hit cancel.
Cancel. Add to home screen. Cancel. Button. Add to home screen.
And then what that does, it gives you a quick way to get to audiovault.net. That's a good thing to have.
Magnifier.
All right.
Closing files.
All right. Any questions on that? I hope it wasn't too
Active.
confusing.
Closing. Fire TV. Magnifier.
Sometimes my
Double
stuff
tap to open.
doesn't work 100%. And I try to practice, but sometimes it still doesn't work. So we'll see.
So
okay.
they're free.
Yes.
Okay.
And-
It
and all
reminds
you
me
need-
of it reminds me of the blind mice
Yeah, the free blind
audio
mice.
thing that we used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that, actually. So, and you can, and here's the thing, they even allow you to upload. Let's say if you have a movie and you got an audio track that's not there, because I don't think it's breaking any copyrights as far as I can tell. You can actually upload one to them and have it become part of the library. So that's kind of cool too, to let us hear movies, So yeah, most of the movies that are out there are up there. There's a few that I couldn't find, but they have a pretty good selection. So I think that'll
Manny?
be fine.
I have a question. So
Mhm.
are all the movies on Audio Vault also audio described?
I don't think all of them are, but they should be, if not. The ones that I've seen thus far are audio described.
Okay.
But they have, what's funny is they have different versions, like Back to the Future, they have the UK version up there, they have the US
Oh.
version, and a few others. So you might have to take a look at the different results there and see which one fits.
Mhm.
I assume most of them are described. That'd be the whole reason for having the track there, but I don't know. I don't think all movies have been described in all of history. I think it's only been more
Right.
recent, last few decades. So good question though. Yeah, I'd like to see if they do have some that aren't described and find out why. So, yeah. But again, there's no video. It's only the audio track. That's all we get. So. All righty. Any other questions? All right. So one thing you can do in email that we haven't talked about is, let's say you're looking for something and you want to you don't know where it's at, but you want to use a search function to find it. Well, there's a search bar on the very top of the email application in the inbox or wherever you're at. And you can go in there and you can look for stuff, you know, so let me try something here. Let's see.
8:04 p.m.
There-
Face ID.
Okay, so we're gonna go into,
Magnifier.
we're gonna go into mail.
Doc. Mail. Mail. Message header. July 4th.
So, you know, let me get out of my message.
All inboxes. All inboxes. 30.
So you need to be in one of your boxes. It should be the inbox. It could be any box. It could be your sent box, old mailbox, could be anything. But because a search will allow you to search everything. But you could also just search the box you're in, which is typically your inbox. So let's say we're going to look for something in my inbox, but I don't know where it's at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the search field, which is a few swipes to the right. Let's go there.
Edit. But all inboxes. Search. Search field.
So I'm going to open that up for editing. Single finger double tap.
Search field is edit.
And let me see, what will I look for? Let's look for, I don't know, let's look for a month, like February or something. I don't know what to look for, so I'm just going to do that. So 2-finger double tap. February.
Inserted February.
And if I go down to the search results,
Clear text. Cancel. Selected. Current mailbox. Top hits. Manny Celis. RE. Credentials for accessing and downloading yesterday's voiceover training class. 2/24/23. Send. Wednesday.
you see that? So it was in February. So it knows to check dates too with certain keywords. So you can look for anything, any keywords. Now, if you have multiple keywords, you should put those inside of quotes so it's treated as one word. So let's say I want to, let's say I want to look for something that has 2 words in it. I don't know. Let me go back up there and figure something out.
Selected. All mailboxes. Search field is editing. Insertion point at start. Delete. Use the rotor to access misspelled words.
Okay, so let me get up there.
Search field is editing. Insertion point at end. Y.
Okay.
R. Cat Beth.
So I'm going to look for Barbara McPherson. So the way I would dictate that in is I would say, quote, Barbara McPherson, end quote. I'm going to dictate that in now. Okay. That means I'm going to look for both words in that order as one word. Okay, that's what that does. It's a grouping mechanism. So let me do that. Quote, Barbara McPherson, end quote.
Inserted Barbara McPherson.
So if I go there, the first one is,
Manny Celis. Regarding TSB Facebook group 3/26/21.
so anyway, it went all the way back to 2021. You know, it searches very fast. So that's going to have a lot of hits because I do a lot of emails to Barbara and she does a lot to me. So there's going to be a lot of hits. But if you're looking for that thing like a company name or something more unique, you can really see the power of this in finding emails that you thought were lost. Let's say you have a product key for something that you bought. Let's say, I think Barbara had one for Freedom Scientific. And we use a couple of different variations of search arguments. We find you figured out, oh, we got to use the term fusion license. And we did that and it came right up. And that's the way you can find emails very quickly. Now, of course, when you're done, then you can cancel out and then your inbox shows again like it always does. So it's just showing you a temporary screen with the search results. So there's a cancel button up by where I was searching. Let me go back.
Top hit. Current selected. All mailbox. Cancel.
And I was looking in all mailboxes. That's why I have a sent item from 2021 there. If I told it to look in my current inbox, it would have only returned items in the current box. And it would just show a different list. So I'm going to cancel out of here.
Mail.
So, and that's a real cool thing when you're looking for something quick and you don't want to wade through a bunch of emails. That's the power of this phone. That's one of the big powers that it has. Any questions on searching for emails using keywords? All right, we're going to continue on then. Yeah. Okay, so on what Diane was talking about earlier, dictation. When you send text messages or email, you can instruct Siri to change something that you're dictating to her to send, or you can add to it. I'm going to show you an example of an email. Like I'm going to send Barbara an email, okay? And I'm gonna show you how you do it with Siri. Okay, so I'm gonna say, hey Siri, email Barbara McPherson. Test.
What would you like?
Hey Barbara, ellipsis, this is a test, period.
Here's your email message to Barbara McPherson. It says, hey Barbara, this is a test. Are you ready to send it?
Change.
Would you like to send, cancel, change subject, add, or change message?
Change message.
What would you like your email to say?
Hey Barbara, this is the second test of the body of the email.
Here's your message to Barbara McPherson. It says, hey Barbara, this is the second test of the body of the email. Ready to send it?
Add.
What would you like to add to your message?
This is the second line of the email, period.
Okay, I updated the message. It now says, hey Barbara, this is the second test of the body of the email. This is the second line of the email. Ready to send it?
Cancel.
Okay, I won't send it.
Okay.
So that's using
On draft info.
that's using dictation to specify stuff in an email content, and I could change the subject, or I can blow away the whole message and change it to something brand new, or I can add to it. I could even say things like new paragraph, which will put a space, like a line between the first thing I said and the current thing, and I could add something to it that way. So you can totally control your email just with your voice and Siri. And the same thing works in text messages too, except you can't add to text messages for some reason. You can only just change the whole message. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why you can't just add to it. But that's the way this stuff is designed. So any questions about that? About using Siri to dictate emails or messages? All right, we're gonna keep on keeping on then. Let's see. Okay, something that's coming up new in iOS 17 is a thing called a journal app. It hasn't been released yet, hasn't been really looked at, but what it's going to do, it's going to allow you to keep like a true diary on your iPhone. And it's just a built-in app that Apple provides. You don't have to pay another service or this or that. And you say, well, you know, what's the big deal about that? I mean, I can use the Notes app to do that now. But the thing about the journal app that's going to be nice is that because you do so much on your phone, you make phone calls, you go walking, or you go to this place and that place. When you decide to do your daily entry into your journal, it'll have a lot of suggestions about what you did this day, and you can put those in for ideas. Let's say like you went on a hike. Well, it'll stick that in there for you if you want, and then you can expand on it. So it'll kind of help you write your daily journal and diary. So it's going to be a nice addition to the slew of apps that come with the iPhone. And that's coming in iOS 17, but it's not here yet. So there are a few apps that we talked about in the past, but this one is supposed to be a good one from what I've heard. So if you'd like to do journaling or diary, this would be the one to wait for, I think. And of course, you can add other things in it, not just text. You can add images, If you took pictures that day, it'll even ask you if you want to include pictures in the diary. You know, you could really do a great accounting of your day, you know, if you use your phone a lot. I think it's kind of nice. So that's what I had for that journal. It's called the Journal app, and that's coming soon to a phone near you. Let's see what's next. Let's see here. Going pretty fast tonight, actually. See here. Preview. Oh, we did that already. Create an internet shortcut. We did that with the Audio Vault app. So we'll skip over that one. Let's see. Okay, this is one that Diane wanted me to look at, and this is called the Apple Music app. I think formerly it was iTunes in the past. I think it's now Apple Music, if I'm not mistaken. And
It just says music app,
that-
music. Yeah, my phone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and what it allows you to do is you can subscribe to their service. And I believe, I don't know if you can do it in this app or not, but you can actually purchase music. And I know in iTunes, I was able to purchase songs and music. I don't know if you can do it in this app or not, or if you can just sign up for their music service and stream the songs you want to hear. I haven't gone that deep into the app yet, but we're going to open it up and see. Did you say something, Diane? I'm sorry.
No, sorry.
Okay. All right. So this is called the Apple Music app. It looks like a music note. I think it's a reddish icon on the screen for you visual folks.
8:16 p.m.
Let me see here.
Search.
Get
Done.
out of there.
Mail.
So all you do is you tell it to open music. So, hey Siri, open music.
Tab bar. Library. Tab. 3 of 4.
So it's a standard interface.
Tab bar. Listen now. Tab.
So you got
1 of 4.
listen now.
Get 3 months of free music. Try it free. Right arrow. 3 months free.
So unless it's in my library, I'm not going to be able to do this listening thing because I have to subscribe to their service to hear music that I don't have in my library. So that's the listen now. And then let me go to the next thing here.
Tab bar. Radio. Tab.
Okay,
2 of
radio, that's free. And what it does, it allows you to listen to radio streams from all over the world, I think, not just the US. And you can search for those and listen to them, and they'll just play on your phone for free. I think there are some paid radio stations, but I think the majority of them are free. So then there's library.
Library. Tab.
These are the things that you've purchased, that you own, or that you, or if you're streaming, that you've added into your library, and they're special. They're ones that you want to listen to. Okay. Now I have like a few things in my library, and I won't play them. It's just a couple of songs, but that's where it's at. And what they do is they allow you to view it by different categories. So let's go in real quick here.
Library. Account. But playlists. But artists. Button.
So you got it by artist,
Albums.
album,
But songs. But
songs,
genres.
genre.
Composers.
Anyway, on down the line, and you can isolate what it is you want to listen to and narrow it down. So if you have a lot of music, you could narrow down maybe the country genre or the jazz genre or something, and then further do it, that way. And I think the last tab on here is
Tab bar. Search. Tab.
search.
4 of 4.
Was this where you were having difficulty, Diane, on search? Was that it?
No, my question actually had to do with my library because I have quite a bit of music in my library and I'm having trouble managing it. And specifically, I was trying to delete some of the stuff because there's so much in there. And when I tried to figure out how to delete it, I couldn't get any instructions for how to delete it using VoiceOver. Everything wanted me, it was all for, people who were not using VoiceOver. So I couldn't figure out how to delete some things I didn't want anymore.
Well, let me go into mine. I have some purchase stuff. I don't know if I've purchased things, if that's a different way to delete or not. But let's give it a shot. I won't actually delete it, but let's see
Yeah.
if there's an entry point for doing it. So we're going to go back to the library, which is tab 3 on the bottom. So you got
Mhm.
4 tabs, and the third one is library.
Selected. Library. Tab. Selected. Library.
So first thing you have this categorization. So let's just get in front of that so we can get to where the songs are. So let's go. Do you do full albums or do you do songs that you want to delete?
Well, I have some playlists, and I think a lot of them might be playlists. But the other weird thing that's happened in the library, and I just don't understand what I'm doing wrong,
Mhm.
is I used to be able to choose library and then scroll through, and it would always start with playlists and then on and on. And the stuff like genres and things were way down at the bottom. But recently, I can't, if I hit edit, which is above the live first, then I can go back to playlists and things. But if I don't want to use edit, I just am hunting for a piece of music. It won't let me access my things by playlist or by album anymore. It always wants me to go to genre and all these things like made for you and these weird categories.
Oh.
And I feel like something's happening that I need to, like, it's like there's a bunch of pages in this
Mhm.
list, and playlist is on page is the top, but I can never get to the top, and I don't understand why that is. So,
Okay, so
but the other thing is, regardless of the category, there are things in there that I don't want to have in there anymore, and a lot of them are in the made for you category.
Mhm.
And I can't figure out how to. I keep thinking I should be able to highlight it and swipe up, and one of my choices should be delete, but I just can't find that choice.
Let's see. So you were in playlist then, right? When
Well,
this happened?
I think in any of the lists, but
Any of those?
Screen dim.
Sorry.
yeah, I just can't get to something to delete it.
Let me go to artist on mine. Let's
Okay.
see.
Artists.
All right.
Button. Select. Library. YouTube. Button.
Okay, so there's a band called U2, an artist called U2. Let me go in there.
Okay.
Songs of Innocence.
So there's an album here called Songs of Innocence. I don't remember buying
Okay.
that, but anyway, it's there. And okay, and I'm doing this for the first time, so this may not work, Diane. I'm gonna try
Okay.
it. So I'm gonna open that album up and see what it does.
Song. Album artwork. Image. Possible adult.
So I'm going to swipe to the right and see what my options are here.
Okay.
Songs of Innocence. YouTube. Rock. To play. But shuffle. But 1. The Miracle of Joey Ramone. 4 minutes.
Whatever that is. Okay, so there's the first track, whatever this thing. Now I'm going to do what you said. I'm going to swipe up and see what options I get.
Drag item. More. Remove.
So there's remove.
Remove. Huh.
Download. Playing last.
Okay, so there is a remove option. Is that what you're talking about? Like
Yeah, I think it is. I just don't seem to be able to get to it. And I'm usually trying to remove like I'd be removing the whole album, not just
Okay.
a song in the album.
Well, let me back up one level, get to the album granularity and see if it lets me do that. Okay, so I'm going to go back one.
Back button. Back button.
So
Songs of Innocence.
So there's the album that we're on the album here. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to swipe up and see if I get remove or whatever it is. So let's see.
Drag item. Explore image. Activate. Drag item.
No.
That's what I get.
Activate. Default.
So let's see if there's something else on this screen that allows me to do something, because this is brand new for me. So
Yeah.
pardon me for a second here.
Artists. Sort. Button. Image. A group of people wearing some. YouTube. Play. Shuffle. But Songs of Innocence. Mini player. Album art. Please don't Judas me. Please preview. Play. Next track. Tab bar. Listen now. Tab.
So it doesn't look like there's a way to remove it, which is odd. So,
You know, when I searched Manny I asked Siri to search, and I got the instructions for sighted people was press and hold. And
well,
then
let
you
me try.
choice, but I can't press and hold with voiceover on. I
I'm
mean, I
gonna
can't do that.
try a double tap and and hold and see if that brings it up. Thank you for telling me that, because that was the next option I was thinking of trying here. So let's see.
Sound of innocence.
So I got focus on it. Now I'm gonna double tap and hold and see if I get some menu. That's a context menu that should come up.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that.
Preview. Play. Button. Delete from library.
There it is.
Oh, there.
There it is.
So, okay, so what it is, Diane, and you gave me the answer, you solved this. Instead of, when you get on the album, just double tap and hold, and you're gonna hear like a little, I don't know,
Okay.
little sound. Then a context menu is gonna show up, and the option you want is gonna be right there. And just-
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks. I'll try that.
Yeah. Glad I
Okay,
could help
thanks.
somewhat. So, all right. Any questions about the music app, anybody? Okay,
Magnifier.
all right.
Double tap to open.
Another satisfied customer. All
Yep,
right.
you did.
Let's see here. Okay, one thing we've never talked about in the class is this thing called focus, because I was trying to get everybody more basic skills, okay? So this thing that they invented called focus, it's been a version or two back in iOS. But what I want to talk about is that it's important if you want to have a very granular, very tight control of your do not disturb function of the phone. So in a nutshell, what it does
Screen dim.
is that it has categories of focus, like sleep. So when you go to sleep, you can set the focus up for a certain time, okay? And then you can set, okay, I don't want any notifications from any apps, regardless of what they are. I don't care. But maybe I want this one app to let me know, wake me up if there's a notification. Or I don't want anyone to call me while I'm asleep, except for people that are on my favorites, or maybe Patty or Barbara or somebody. Only they can call me at night when I go when I put this thing into sleep focus. And when you do that, it'll automatically at a certain time, because this is a time-based one, at night, it'll go into this focus mode. And basically what it does, it turns on do not disturb, but you have fine granular control of what will disturb you, if anything. Sometimes you can have it completely out. And they have focuses for other events too. So what you would do is you would bring up the focus settings in the settings area, and then you can then
827.
then you can then modify how this works. So let me open up settings and show you what's going on with focus. Okay. Hey Siri. Open settings.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
iPhone left arrow.
Settings. Notifications. Button. Search. Search field. Search field.
Focus.
Inserted focus. Search results. Focus status. Focus. Focused item after tab. Follow current item. First item. Large focus queue. First item. Cancel. Button. Set.
We just go down into it.
Personal notific sounds and focus.
There it is.
Button.
So under sounds and haptics towards the top, is a thing called focus. And this is where we control all these do not disturb behaviors. So you're going to get it right now when I open it up, and you'll see there's some built-in focuses. You can add other ones, but let's go into it and so you can see.
Focus. Button. Do not disturb. Button.
All right.
Driving. Button.
So there's a focus that happens while driving. So when you're driving, you can tell it to go into it manually, or when it detects that you're moving in a vehicle, this focus can be enabled. And maybe you don't want to get calls while you're driving, or maybe you don't want things to beep at you or anything while you're driving. Not a problem for any of us, I don't think.
I know I use that.
If any of us are driving, we have bigger problems than focus.
Scary thought.
So just to give you a list of a few of them that are built in. So there's driving.
Personal. Button.
There's a personal focus. You can customize it. So when you want some personal time, because that's what this is, it divvies up your time and it enables these do not disturb features. So there's personal,
Sleep.
sleep,
Button. Work.
work.
Button.
And you can add more. You could say while jogging or whatever you want to call it. You can just do a bunch. So let's look at the one for sleep.
Sleep.
That's probably the one that we probably care about the most, right? I think sleep would be the one. So let's go into
Sleep.
that one.
Button. Deep focus. Heading. Allow notifications. Notifications from selected people and apps will be allowed. All others will be silenced.
So that's what it's telling you. So let's keep going.
People. None allowed.
So right now I have nobody, if I put this on, which I don't have on right now, but if I say, when I go to sleep, I want this focus mode to take over the phone while I'm sleeping. Right now, if anybody calls, it won't come through if I turn this on. And here's the second thing that it stifles as well.
Apps. None allowed. Button.
No apps will be allowed to notify me of stuff. Anybody sends me a text message and it ain't coming through. It'll still come into my phone, but I'm not going to be told it's there until I wake up. And then let's see.
People. Apps. None allowed. Options. Button. Customize screens. Heading.
So you can customize screens so you know you're in a mode. So if you have a lock screen that's when you're asleep, you want it to be very dark, like a black color. When that focus mode is enabled and begins, your lock screen will change to black or orange or whatever you call it. And you can do that for your watch. And I think you can do it for the regular screens, the home screens. You can change their look based on the current focus. So at a glance, for visual people, you can see at a glance, oh, we're in this black screen, so that must be a focus mode. I'm talking black background. You can still see all the icons in it. And let's say when you're at work, there's a blue screen in the background. You can change it to that or whatever you want, but you'll know by a visual cue what kind of focus mode you're in if you enable this feature. Right now, probably all of us, we don't have it enabled. It's there, but we're not using it. But I'm just letting you know it's there. So if you get tired of being disturbed during dinner, you could put a dinner focus, or you could put something where you don't want to be disturbed. You could just, set up the focus mode, and then you could set up who can disturb you and who cannot disturb you and what can disturb you. And that's what focus mode is all about. It's designed to keep you focused on whatever you're doing and not have the phone distract you with 1,000 bells and whistles all the time. If you get a lot of calls. So, any questions on focus mode or how to set it up, anything like that? All right.
No, that's neat. I'm gonna do that.
Right there.
Well, I think it's handy because if you get disturbed a lot, that's when you know you need to use focus mode. And it's a great thing to have. It's something you think you never need until you start getting angry that people are calling you all the time.
But no, I think it's important because when we're in a meeting like this,
Mhm.
you don't want notifications all the time, it's rude.
Right. And like if even if you're in church, you could have a church focus mode, which could basically mean you just have everything turned off, but you could switch easily to it, and that's the great part. So yeah, that's a good point. So let's see what's next. I wanted to go over the app switcher because go ahead. Somebody say something.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so the app switcher on the phone allows you to close apps, and I would recommend, your iPhone can have 20, 30, 40, 50 apps open, but you got to remember that the more apps you have open, the less processor you're going to have for the current thing you're doing. Because when you have apps open, they're got to be maintained in the background, and that takes resources. Each one is going to take a little bit of resources. So if you have 49 apps in the background, let's say, and you're working with Audio Vault in the foreground, downloading stuff,
Screen dim.
it's still going to work okay, but it's going to slow your phone down. And when it has to work harder, your phone tends to heat up because it's doing more. So it's always a good idea, at least once a week or maybe every few days, go to the app switcher and just close all the apps that you're not using. You know, put them to put them to bed. You know, and then when you need them, just wake them up again. Because your phone will run better. You won't have dropped calls. You won't have things that happen when a computer gets overloaded. Because when you're doing phone calls, by the way, it is an app that's running. It's not just a phone in there running separately from your iPhone. It's actually an application. So it's sharing resources with all the other applications. So you want to make sure that if you're not using something and you remember, just to go in and close it. So I'm going to show you how to bring up the app switcher. So there's two ways to do it. One for phones that have a button, like your iPhone SEs. What you do is you press that home button 3 times in a row. Bam, bam, bam. No, it wasn't. It was 2 times.
No, twice.
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 2 times.
Okay,
Yeah.
scratch that. 2 times in a row. When you do it twice, you get the app switcher. And then if you have voiceover on, you'll take 3 fingers and you'll swipe each of them up. But if you want to go to the app that's currently being shown to you, you just double tap with 1 finger and that app will become the foreground app and be ready to go. But to close them, that's the only way to close the apps right now. You can't do it by telling Siri to close apps. It doesn't do that. You have to use the app switcher. So it's 2 taps on an iPhone SE, and it's a gesture with 2 thumps on these other phones without the home button. So let me do that on this one here.
8:35 p.m.
Okay.
Magnifier.
So I got it nice and loud, so you might be able to hear the second thump when I do this. So I'm going to do the home gesture, which is a slide from the bottom up the middle of the screen. And instead of just waiting for 1 thump, I'm going to do 2. And it's going to sound like this.
iPhone.
Double tap to home.
Oops, wait a
Calendar.
minute.
Tuesday. To app switcher.
There it is.
Settings. Active.
So then what I do,
Swipe up settings.
swipe up with 3
Active.
fingers.
Closing settings. Music. Closing music. Closing mail. Net.
And then when it's all done, it takes you right back to the screen. Now, if you do the gesture and you have no apps open in the background, it'll tell you no apps or whatever. I think it says something like this.
App switcher has no items.
App switcher has no items. That means there are no apps running in the background. That what you see is what you get. You know, just the home screens are running. So this is really good for keeping things running fast, especially if you have an older phone or even the SEs. They're good phones too, but you know, they have limits too, and it's not, you don't want to like push the limits of your phone because things will start getting crazy. And of course,
Manny?
Yeah.
I was just going to say on my SE at least, if I have a number of apps open and I'm using App Switcher, if I come to one I don't want to close, if I just swipe right, it'll go past it.
That's
And
right.
then I can keep closing things and leave that one open.
That's right. Yes, very good. Yes. So yes, you can, an app switcher is really nice because you can close apps, you can switch to an app, or you can close and then bypass apps that you don't want to close. You want to leave those open, that's fine. And your phone's plenty good. It'll be fine if you leave a lot of apps open. It's just better as far as housekeeping, just to close them when you don't need them anymore. And a thing as well is not only closing apps, but resetting your phone. You know, rebooting it once a week will keep you solid. And the way you do that is just tell Siri to restart your phone, your iPhone. It'll give you a confirmation and you say yes, and then it'll restart. So that's very easy to do. So, and this is just
The
for
other-
housekeeping.
The other thing that I find I do when I get myself stuck in a corner somewhere, I zigged instead of zagging when I in some app. If I could just get to it and close it up and then reopen it, a lot of times I get out of whatever corner
Yeah,
I got
that's-
stuck in and I can get
that's a
back
good
to where I
point.
want to be.
That's a good point, because some of these apps, even though they're checked over by Apple and blessed before they're added to the store, sometimes these programmers don't do 100% great job, and Apple doesn't catch everything. So sometimes they break, sometimes they don't work, sometimes VoiceOver doesn't work with them. I've seen that. But usually when you start seeing things happen in a pattern, like VoiceOver is not working properly, or you know, Safari's acting weird, that usually means you need to close apps and probably restart your phone just to start with a clean slate again, and then go back into what we're doing. 95% of the time that clears it up. That 5% is probably software engineering mistakes that have to be fixed. So yeah, that's what I do all the time. You know, even before this class, I reset this phone, you know, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And also closing what are they called, when you go out, tabs.
Yes, very good. Very good, Patty. Yes, Patty's absolutely right. And that may even be more so than the apps, now that I think about it. That's good, Patty. So in Safari, you can have, you know, tens of apps, maybe tens of tabs open, or 50 tabs, 60 tabs, but each tab requires a piece of your processor to keep that tab maintained, to keep that web page maintained. So what you do there in Safari, you'll go down to the very last icon on the toolbar to the right, and that's called tabs. And just like an app switcher, you can go to each tab and you can swipe up to close them, or you can skip over them and close the ones you want. So yes, that's very good. Also in settings, you can go to Safari and you can say clear history and website data. And when you tap on that, it'll clear all the history out that's clogging up your phone, and you have an option to close the tabs too, which you should do. And then it'll just in one fell swoop close all the tabs. When you go back into Safari later, it's just like brand new again. It just shows you the front screen and everything's clean and there's no weirdness going on. But sometimes these websites aren't designed well, and you'll get into these loops and you'll hear it clicking and stuff. That's usually a bad website. And the only way you can do that is to do the clear history and website data option in settings. You just kill all that garbage.
Manny, did you want to go to tabs and go left and right so they can see how to close them and how to go through them?
Yeah, let's see.
841 feet truck.
That's a good point, Pat. That's not in my outline, but I'm going to add it in. That's great.
Well, I said that because I think that every time we, you know, obviously we ask Siri for recipes and all kinds of stuff, it just opens tabs, and I've never paid attention to that.
Oh, that's a good point. Wow. Okay.
Pasco Field.
All right.
Calendar.
I want to go into Safari.
Safari.
iPhone.
Safari.
Now,
When Harry Met Sally. Ellipsis.
now notice I still have that tab up when I was in Audio Vault. It keeps them open. Now, this site is very simple. It's not doing a lot of stuff. It's not showing a bunch of pictures and image sliders and all kinds of crazy weirdness. So this is probably not affecting it too much because it's not actively doing new things. But like Barbara said, the way you get to where all the tabs are is down here at the very bottom. You have this toolbar, and at the very right of the toolbar, you have this thing.
Toolbar. Tabs.
Tabs.
Button.
So you go there.
Double tap it.
Double tap, right? So now it's collecting all the tabs. So I'm going to go in and get down to where these tabs are, and they're in thumbnail kind of squares. So let me get down there.
Singers and musicians who died today in 2023. Tab.
Okay.
5 of
So I think I just swipe up. Let me see.
close.
So I swipe up with one finger, and then I can just double tap to close it.
Audiovault.net. Tab.
And then the one that's next to it takes its place, and I can just go through. I think there is a close all as well, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
how
but you can also do left and right arrow to get.
That's right.
through 'em.
Sorry about that, Barbara. You're right. So if I want to go to the next one, I can swipe to the right.
Audiovault.net. Audiovault.net. Tab.
So I got a few of them open.
Audiovault.net. Audiovault.net / new tab. Button.
So I got like one of
Swipe
something
up.
else, and then a bunch of audiovaults.nets. So I think what you do,
Done. Button. Tab groups. 9 tabs. Button. Audiovault.net. Audio Manix. Bid. Wiki. Dictate. Search tabs. Search field. Dictate. Button. Bid. Wikipedia. Tab. 1 of 9.
but I think I forgot how to do this.
Audiovault.net.
All of
Tab.
them. I just
5.
Is it one, is there a way to gang nail them all or?
That's what I'm looking for. I used to know how to do that, and I'm I'm looking now.
Now,
Hang on.
doing them individually, my brain cramped. Do you just do one finger up? Because I've.
Yeah, yeah. One finger up and then close.
Right,
then
and you
double
just tap, double tap, close. Okay.
But there's another way, and I was trying to remember what it was.
Audio vault dot new tab, but tab groups, not done, button.
I think I have to hold the done button, maybe? Is that what it is?
I
Tap
don't know.
done,
I
see if
I
it
do
nails them.
one
I
at a
don't.
time.
Yeah, I know how to do them one at a time, but I would be overjoyed to know if there's a way to gang bang them, you know, kill 'em all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Audio vault dot.
And if I don't figure it out here, John, I'm gonna
Yeah.
make a mental note to put it in the notes, because I remember I've done this before, and it's like a
Oh.
little hidden kind of thing, and I'm just like, ugh.
Well, since I've decided to join you this last 20 minutes or less, I also have a section for the last year or so where there's tabs people have shared with me.
Mhm.
Is there a way to nuke those?
Shared via what? How do they share it with you?
Well, let me use an example, I guess. Websites that people have shared with me. Let me use
Oh,
my own.
links. Yeah.
Yeah, links. Let's just take a look. It won't take that long.
Okay.
Safari. Tabs.
Redeem your code, page 1 of 2.
God, now it doesn't show it.
Tab
See?
group,
Start page. It says tab groups. Maybe this is something they did in 16.5.
tab groups, 9 tabs, private,
Hmm.
private, selected, done, but select private, new
I'm gonna
empty
hit
tab,
done.
new tab group with 9,
Sorry, I'm listening to you. I think just trying to.
none, button.
I want to make a mental note of this one. I just don't have the answer. I used to know how to do this, which I'm pretty ashamed about. I must be losing my mind or something.
Okay, Maddie, let me show you what I mean.
Okay.
There's the normal ones.
Close.
There's favorites, of course, and it's Apple, Disney, ESP, and I guess Yahoo. Those are pretty standard. I mean, I think those are the
Okay.
defaults. Those are the ones that Apple gives you and makes you take, so to speak. You might be able to nuke them, I don't know, but
Okay.
shared with you, there's no button, there's no indication. Then it says show all. CW for the visually impaired. I have a Jessica Dale, God love her. She sends me everything but the kitchen sink, and I'm like, stop it.
Uh-huh.
Nobody on this phone call heard me say that.
No.
Oh my God, look, see. Jerry Springer, the longtime host, dies at 79. Yeah, Jessica, I need to hear that.
He
But
died?
yeah, I don't know when he died. This is the kind of
There
stuff
you
that
go,
Jessica
Manny.
insists on sending
Don't
me.
cry, Manny.
Right, but here's the point. How do I get rid of these? I don't know if you even experienced this. I'm gonna hit Jerry Springer. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay. Oh, actions. Let's see if actions. I can just drag it or activate it. I can't nuke it.
That's weird.
Yeah, very weird. I don't know. I should probably, if I'm that interested in it, I should put something out on blind information technology specialist. But you know, there's all this stuff that this woman insists on sharing with me, and I can't get rid of it. It's not hurting anything. They're not open.
So they're just links. Is that what you're saying? They're links?
Yeah, they're just like pages that if I wanted to tap on them. Facebook could owe me money. Privacy report, 4 block trackers in the last 7 days. Ooh, Safari, somebody prevented. Okay, there were 4 trackers that were prevented from following me, probably because I set things to heighten security. Wait, there's edit here.
We're all listening.
God, this is very strange. This isn't really part of the lesson, but I
Well,
thought I'd
we're all
ask.
gonna look into it because we all have stuff that people share with us, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it, John, and get
Oh,
back to you.
customize start page, close. view start page on all devices. I only have one device. I'm not one of these iPhone people who has an iPhone, Mac, and an iBook or whatever they, iPad and I this and I that.
Mhm.
Oh, it'll,
Okay, Manny, did you get to the Merlin Bird app?
I did not for this one. I
Okay.
will for the next one, if that's all right. I could open it up and we could play with it, but I haven't really.
For people who don't know, the Merlin Bird, it's called Merlin Sound Effect. Sound ID, Merlin Sound ID. It will identify bird calls anywhere.
Oh,
And all you do is, once you sign up for it, you have to log in and all that. But once you sign up for it, it asks for what section of the country you live in. So you put in Southwest. And then you just hit the sound ID, you take it out, and it will listen to any of the birds and it'll tell you what they are. And then after you know what they are, you just flick to the right and it will give you a bio of each bird. And it's all free.
We
Oh,
demoed
I
that.
want that.
We demoed that at Barbara's house, and Hunter found some bird sounds, like a cactus wren. So he had the computer play the sound, and this app correctly identified that song as going to, for a cactus wren, and
Oh,
amazing.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what is it
I
called?
haven't-
man? What is the app called?
It's called Merlin. I forget. Merlin Call or something. I forget.
No,
I got it.
Merlin Sound ID.
Sound ID. There we go. Yes.
Mhm.
And I've already got it installed on my phone, but to get it ready for this demo, I would have to get my other phone to record some bird sounds or get some bird sounds. And then I would have it play.
There's no birds right
and
now.
my other phone would listen. What's that?
Yeah, but it's by the Cornell lab. And so they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bird
Yeah.
recordings.
It's a very interesting application. I guess it can even discern different birds and tell you that there are a few different species out there. So if you're out there in the morning and you're listening to birds, you can turn the app on, it'll tell you what kind of birds are around you.
Oh, cool.
So sorry about that. I didn't get it ready for this this time, but I will put a pin in this and have it ready for next time and do a full
Right,
demo.
but you could put it in the notes so that they can download it themselves.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll put a little addendum on the bottom so they can download it. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, well I got a little homework from this class then. That's great. All right, let's see. So we were on App Switcher. Oh, I don't know for people who are a little more visual, they've added a way that you can put the battery percentage up in the little battery. I don't know if that makes any difference to anybody, but if your battery's 75%, it just doesn't show you a battery with a quarter of it gone. It actually puts a 75 inside the battery. So you can turn that on if you want to, and then for those people who have a low vision, they still might be able to see that number in the batteries. They know exactly where their battery is. And you can also just touch it with your finger if you have voiceover on, and it'll tell you the exact percentage. So this is more for low vision people who aren't running voiceover and they want to know their battery percentage. And they can't really see the battery very well to tell if it's kind of empty or full. So this puts a number on the battery, and I think that is under battery and settings. Let me just go over there. Hang on a second.
Safari. Double tap to open.
Hey Siri. Open settings. Okay.
Notifications. Personal hotspot.
Let's go down to battery.
Noted. Sound. Focus. Screen. General. Control. Home. Accept. Wall. Siri. Face up. Emergent. Exposure. Battery.
Battery.
Battery percentage. Off.
So battery percentage of
Double
mine.
tap to toggle setting.
Battery percentage of mine is off because if I put my finger up on the status bar where the battery is, VoiceOver will tell me the exact percentage. If I do that now.
95% battery power. Not charging. Status bar item.
And what'll happen is if I turn it on, it'll just put a 95
Battery
in there.
percentage. On.
And if I zoom it up, and show it to you guys, there's a battery icon with a 95 in it now. And again, it's just for low vision people or normally sighted people that want to see their percentage inside the battery icon. I don't know if it was important, but I thought it was a little visual cue for some people. So I thought I'd put that in the list. Okay, so that's it for the battery percentage thing. Let's see what's next here. Oh yeah, I wanted to go over. What is it? Oh, in the Photos app, I wanted to show you a real cool search thing. So we've been talking about searches tonight. You know, Diane brought it up earlier, and you can also do the same with photos. So let's say you're looking for something in photos. You got like hundreds of photos, but you want to see one thing like dogs or plants or whatever. So let me show you how you can look for things in photos and show you how it finds stuff.
Calendar, Tuesday, app set, closing Safari.
Hey Siri, open photos.
Tab bar, albums, tab.
So at the
3 of
very
4.
bottom right tab, it's called search.
Tab bar, selected, search,
Search.
tab, search field, search field, search field.
So you can look for, oops, sorry.
Inserted no.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Oh. Cap N.
So in this search field, you can look for anything. Let's say I want to look for all of my photos that have trees in them. So I'll put tree in there. Let's do that.
Search field is at insertion point at N. Dictate button.
Tree.
Inserted tree.
So what happens is I go over.
Search results. Free. Christmas tree. A.
So
Button.
what it does in the search results, it looks for everything that has any kind of tree. Like I have some pictures with Christmas trees.
Christmas tree. A.
8 of
Button.
those.
Palm tree. 2.
I got 2 images with palm trees.
Oak tree. 1.
Got 1
Button.
oak tree in there. So let's go to the Christmas trees just for fun.
Christmas tree. A.
So
Button.
if I do that, it'll show me the 8 pictures with Christmas trees in it. So let me do that.
Christmas tree. 3. Selected.
So
Live
if I put my finger on one of these guys,
photo. A child standing next to a Christmas tree. Tap view.
let's see about this one.
Page.
Oops.
Selection delete. Search results. Live photo. 2 people sitting at a table with glasses of beverages on it. WE. 2 people sitting at a live photo. 2 people hugging each other in front of a Christmas tree.
So that's how you find stuff. You could do dogs or whatever, and it'll analyze the images and tell you which images match. And this is a great way to find images that you think you can't find. You know, I think you can even search for text. Like if you have a picture of text, you can have it search for text within images too. So it's a nice little function for you to be able to manage your photos album better and be able to bring up images that are relevant to what you want to see. But yeah, that's basically photos. Any questions on looking for images using text? Okay, we'll go to the next thing. Let's see. All right, so, and the same thing applies to the messages app. So you get a text message and you want to find something in a text message, you can do the same thing. So let me get out of this.
Calendar. Tuesday. Dog. Messages. 2 unread messages.
All right, so let's say I want to look for something in messages. So
Messages. Compose. More. Filters. More. Search. Search field.
let's say I want to look for something, I don't know, pasta or something.
Search.
Let's see.
Search. Insertion point.
Pasta.
Inserted pasta. Search results for pasta. Chica green. OMG, I made this fantastic pasta sauteed mushroom with onion.
So the thing is, if you're looking for any kind of word in anything, email, messages, photos, this is an excellent device for getting those getting your results to you quickly. That's something we've never really had in the past in a really good way. And I think this is one of the great powers of these devices, is that they allow you to do that. They allow you to do this kind of searching. So, well, I think that's what I got for tonight. What time is it? It's 9 o'clock. I don't know if we want to. What do you think, Barbara? Are you okay?
Yeah, does anybody else have any comments or questions?
Nope.
All right.
Just one thing, I was gonna ask this question, but I think I finally figured it out.
Okay.
I want to send a text message to more than one person. But it says add contact, and it doesn't mean add it to contact. That means take it from contact.
That's right. You'll add it
And
to.
I've done one, and now I'll just do another add contact and double tap on when I get the name,
Mhm,
and then move off of there. So I
There you
don't think
go.
I need your help, but I was gonna ask that question because I want to do a gang message to like 2 people.
Yep, there you go. That's exactly how you
pretty
do it. You create a group text message is what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna label this group, but I take it there's a way to do it because my daughter, who's a little bit more competent than even I am, set up a thing called McCann Squad, which proved very
Oh, yeah.
useful when, you know, we were
So where
announcing
do
the
you
birth of my
add
first
the
grandkid.
contact, John, to add more people?
Say again?
Where do you do that?
There's compose, and then it's 2, and in the 2 field, you can type who you want to send a message to, or you can flick once to the right, and it'll say add contact. And what they mean is
that's
find, you know, add somebody from your contacts into this 2 field.
Okay.
Right. So you can have multiple contacts in that field, and it creates a pseudo group, basically, is what.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well,
Okay.
thank you, Manny, and that was super.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Manny.
Tom.
Good class.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
thank
see
you
if
very
I can
much.
find the stop recording button.
Yeah. Thank you again, John.
Night,
Appreciate it.
everybody.
That was Maggie. She said good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Hang on, maybe.